Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 8th of June, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar, recovering a little bit this morning, and the G7 meeting going on in Canada at the moment is dominating markets really, and we are seeing the euro just selling off a little bit as well. The euro has had a better week against the dollar, so we're just seeing that coming to a close. And the dollar is actually weakening against the yen, so we are seeing that kicking in there, and so Japanese yen strength really is dominating there. Against sterling, the dollar is looking weak as well. We're seeing that just continuing with the sterling uptrend there. And against the euro, sterling is recovering this morning, and against the Swiss franc, still bearish below the cloud, and against the Australian dollar, actually quite a strong recovery in sterling. Looking at Bitcoin, we're seeing this morning just down slightly, so just struggling really to make any headway here. Just the lagging line just hugging the bottom of the cloud, so still bearish in that medium-term chart, and of course the picture is becoming more bearish on that long-term chart now. US markets were down overnight. These G7 talks dominating, and S&P wasn't down very much, but just struggling to make new highs. Nasdaq was down a bit more, down 0.8%. So there was a sell-off in tech last night, and we're seeing here the Dow also was actually up, so it bucked the trend, but if we look at the January high, we're still a long way from that for the Dow, and the broader based Russell, which has been outperforming, is still looking pretty bullish. The futures this morning, the S&P futures down 0.2%, the Nasdaq E-mini down 1/3%. So it does suggest US markets will open lower. FTSE 100 is lower this morning, down nearly 0.75%, and the FTSE 250 also lower. FTSE was actually closed yesterday morning. They had a glitch, so when we did charts today, yesterday morning, there were no updates on the FTSE at the time. And looking at mid caps, also we're seeing a sell-off there as well, down 0.5%. The DAX down 1.3%, so the sentiment just weighing there, and the CAC Cron down 0.75%. So markets generally are falling away. Tokyo down 0.5%, Hang Seng down nearly 2%, and the Chinese market down 1.4%. So China's still looking like one of the big worries which we've identified. The Sensex index holding better, down only 0.5%, and the Australian market down 0.2%. Crude oil holding its gains, sitting at $77 this morning, looking bullish on all three time frames. And we do have this upside target here that will be activated if we can move above that 77.40 level to 81. That's a 5% upside target. So it does look like we might go back above $80 on Brent crude. Taking a look at WTI, we see here also we're bullish on all three time frames as well. So that's quite interesting. That spread opening out now, it's more than $11. So quite interesting how that spread between the two products has really opened out. Nat gas falling away here, sitting at $2.90. So just fell yesterday. Rose very sharply on storage numbers and then fell back. So we did nudge that $3 mark, but just couldn't hold it. Taking a look at gold, struggling to break this $1,300 level at the moment. Still sitting in bullish territory on the short-term chart, medium-term bearish. We're sitting at 12.95, 12.96 this morning. And looking at silver, we are still holding the bullish trend there as well. US 10-year yields falling back quite a bit yesterday, and we're sitting at 2.92%. German bonds strengthening, the yield weakening, of course. Looking at tech, Apple was down 1/3 of a percent, well, 0.26%, just over 1/4%. So still looking bullish though. Amazon has been a great performer of late, was down 1/3 of a percent, but still looking bullish. Google, the laggard, which we talk about most of the time, lagging most tech stocks, was down over 1%. So we're seeing that weakness really filtering through on Google. And Facebook, back below the 190 level, was down 1 and 2/3%, 1.6%. So really mixed picture there. Facebook and Google not performing as well. Microsoft falling back 1.5%, but still holding that critical $100 mark. That's it for today. Have a great weekend. Until Monday. Happy charting. See you then.